Hi everyone, this is Christine Josty from Mail Something Pretty, and today I want to show you how I made, or I copied rather, this beautiful card. I saw this card on Pinterest and I wrote her name down, Michaela Titheridge from the UK. She's on the artisan team for Stampin' Up. Made this card and I absolutely fell in love, and I really just made one change on it. Her amour was in a dark gray, and I did mine in red to match the umbrella, but otherwise it's the same. She did not put directions on her website, so I figured out just from looking at the pictures how to make this, and I wanted to share with you just in case that you loved the card as much as I did. So let's get started. I started with, and I figured out actually, I wanted the size to still be able to fit in a regular size envelope. So you will see that the card does that. You could even probably, I guess, make it even slightly bigger if you wanted to, but it fits in an envelope. So that was a concern of mine. So my piece of the base cardstock is thick white. It is 7.5 by 4 1/4, and I scored it on the 3 3/4. And I'll try to put a link, or not a link, but measurements on my website at Mail Something Pretty. But anyways, it's 7.5 by 4 1/4, scored at 3 3/4. And then what I did was I embossed the Eiffel Tower, and let me show you. It's from the Parisian Beauty stamp set, which has become one of my favorites in the new January through June mini catalog. And what I did was, I like to use for my Stamparatus, I just use washi tape, and I put it down, and just so I know where I want to put my paper. And I tend to actually, I haven't really moved it in a while, so this seems to be a good placement. So I'm just going to put it just along that edge. A lot of times I put actually a small piece of paper right here, but for this one, it's along this edge and it's abutting the top. And I'm going to put my magnet down, which is really strong. And I'm going to use my, when you emboss, you want to use an embossing buddy, and it just removes some of the any oils from your hands or anything where you don't want the powder to stick. And then, hopefully this is in view here. I'm going to use my Versamark ink, which is like a clear ink, but it's gummy. It's like really sticky. And oh, actually, before I do that, for the Stamparatus, and I'm not going to really go over all of it, but I figured out the placement of where I wanted it. But what I did notice, where is it? On when I was making them, we made these actually for club. I don't know if you can see, but my Eiffel Tower looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's a little crooked. So my stickers, I don't think I put on really perfectly straight. But the cool thing is, you can see that there's grid lines on the plate here, and so I figured out where I wanted the Eiffel Tower to go, and I flipped it over, and then I looked at the grid marks. So I just made sure that it's actually not even perfect here. I'm just going to slightly move it with the cling stamps. It's perfect. It's nice because it's already sticky, so you don't have to worry about. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but there's a line here that kind of goes with a foot here, and it extends here, so it should be straight. So that's one nice thing about the plates here, is you can just check to make sure that it is straight. All right, so I'm going to ink up my Versamark ink, and just press it down. One of the beauties of using the Stamparatus is you can always see where you put it, so if I didn't ink enough, I could re-ink and place down, but I can't. That's harder to tell with a Versamark because it's clear. All right, so I'm going to remove that. Put that aside. And then I'm going to use, I keep my embossing powder in containers. It just makes it a little bit easier to use than the little, tiny little containers that it comes with. So I'm just going to put my powder on. Let's see, I have a little fingerprint. Just wipe that off. I usually use a paintbrush, but of course it's out of my reach. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to do a quick heating of the heat gun So it's reload for a second, but hopefully on the camera you can see how it changes. So right now it's just powder, and you're gonna see it melt and it's gonna get shiny. See how the base is starting, I don't know if you can see, but the base is starting to turn and melt. I could have done that off camera, the whole stamping of the Eiffel Tower, but I actually wanted to show you that little tip with the Stamparatus about the alignment with the grid marks. So that's why I did it already, or didn't do it already, rather. Okay, so now this is really what I wanted to show you. It's called, I think it's called partial die cutting. I think that's how she said it, and that's what I looked up to figure it out. So that's what we're going to do. And actually, I looked up one video on Pinterest, and then I did it one way, and I did it for club, and Ellen said, no, you can do it this way. It's so much easier. And so she showed me, and it was so much easier. So I'll show you kind of both ways. So I'm going to line up my die. My paper got a little warped with a I'm just looking for something as I'm chatting. The heat gun, which is fine. Oh, I knew I took it out. I took out some washi tape. Here it is. Okay. So even though I have the magnetic board, which is an extra with the die cutting machines, and you don't always need it, I still want to use a piece of washi tape to hold it down so it does not move. And well, you're going to be able to see. I have my score line right there. So I'm going to put this back on here. And I'm going to put the washi tape so it's an alignment. You don't have to do it with the alignment. You can just put it anywhere, but I actually like it in alignment with the score line because that will help me with my next step. Okay, so that is stuck on there. So the one video I saw said, put your plate on top. Don't worry about that was from the other video I did. Put your plate on top and then run it through until you know, kind of where you think it is. So, and then you check. But what Ellen said, and I think this is brilliant, rather than guessing, you take your plate and you put it, I have a beveled edge, so I'm going to put it slightly below the score line, and that's why I want the washi tape there so I can see it, right? So when I run it through, it's only going to cut this section. It's not going to touch this section because I don't have the plate there. Okay, so let's do it. I thought that was really smart. And so I can run it all the way through. And then even when I flip it over, you can see, hopefully, that the cut only goes to that score mark. So the washi tape aids in knowing where to put my plate, but if you just put the plate wherever you want to stop the cutting, then it's only going to cut to that point. I thought that was a great tip. And you can now, like, you can do tons of things. You can partial cut any dies, right? So then you fold it, there you go. So you imagine, like, if you had, like, I don't even know, even a circle or a sun or butterfly wings or the lighthouse or whatever, you can have really pop out. So that opened up a lot of possibilities for me. Okay, so now we're just going to stamp the rest. I'll show you the sample again. So I'm going to stamp the clouds. And I already did, just for the sake of the video, I already stamped my lady and colored her in with my blends. So just show you quick. Whenever I use the blends, I use the Memento Black ink because it won't run, it won't bleed. And these are the colors, well, actually, if you wanted blonde or brunette, but these are the colors. I did balmy blue, I put a little gray in the dress, and I used cherry cobbler for the umbrella. And I already cut her out. Okay, so, but for the clouds, this is what I wanted to show you too. So this is the umbrella person. And then this stamp is actually the color in part of the dress for this lady, but we're going to use it for the clouds. And that all goes to Michaela. You know, I copied from her, but I thought it was a really good idea. But I do want to stamp off because this is one generation and that's two. So those clouds are much too dark. So when you stamp off, you get a much lighter color. So I'm going to stamp off and stamp on my cardstock and do it again. And I'm going to stamp right over that Eiffel Tower because you're not even going to see it. You can wipe it off if you want, or you can just leave it on there, but it just goes right behind it. So I thought that was a cool thing for the clouds. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp in that same Parisian set. I'm going to use the Amour, and on the inside I'm going to use the stamp and the little postage cancellation, and you can also use some of the words if you want. In the Amour, I'm just going to stamp 3 times right in a row. So it's like a little ombre. And that was with gray granite. And then, okay, actually I'll just stamp the inside while I have those here. I do the red one, the stamp one first, because then I know where to put my cancellation for the postage. I just think that's kind of fun. And that would look fun on the envelope if you wanted. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to, and I already cut out my Amour. That's part of the dies that go with the set. And I actually use the, what do you call these? Adhesive strips or adhesive something or other. See how it just peels off? But then I discovered Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell them anymore. So mine must be old. But you can get them anywhere, or you just use glue, the fine tip glue or even the Tombow glue. But I was doing these for my club and a class for a different card, and it was just easier for them to stick them this way. So I stick down one letter at a time just to make sure I get it straight. More. Okay, and then I'm just going to use a little glue for my umbrella lady. Stick her on. Where do I want her? I don't want to cover all my amours. I think I'll put her down here in between. Pat her down. And then the final touch is a little diamond. And someone said, oh, it looks like a raindrop. Although where I put it was kind of under the umbrella, but you can put it wherever you'd like. And so there you go. I just thought this was a beautiful card. So, but what I really liked is this pop-up. So I'm going to have to play with this partial die cutting and do some more fun the cards. But that's what I wanted to show you. So full credit goes to Michaela for designing it, but I wanted to show you how I made it because she did not attach directions or measurements. So thank you so much for watching. This is Christine Josty of Mail Something Pretty. Be sure to check out my website, mailsomethingpretty.com, and add yourself to my mailing list and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you get notifications whenever I film a video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.